lifers.
Hey, lifers!
Hey, lifers.
Hey, lifers! It's Jason Love with Jason Loves Life.
It's cold.
Frumpkin and Pumpkin seem to be sick again, and Frumpkin didn't ask to go on a wagon ride, but it's like 8:30. He took a nap, which he doesn't. He does sometimes during the day, but like really short on the bus usually. And so today I'm doing, I guess they call it a dark scope, which sounds creepy, but it's actually just that it's there's no light, or very little light, because we're walking. And I thought about parking by a street light, but I think Frumpkin wants to keep moving, which is kind of what I want to do too. Oh, there I can see you a little bit. Maybe I'll just do laps around here because there's no light. What do you think? I think it's cold.
I think it's cold.
Yeah. What did you say?
It's a moon.
Oh, moon. Yes. Do you see the moon?
I hear moon.
You see moon?
Up the moon.
Yeah, you see the moon. Oh, it's still there. It's hard to see through the light. Frumpkin sees the moon. Hopefully it's legal to walk here. I didn't see hours posted, so I'm just gonna kind of like walk around in circles, and hopefully we don't get in trouble. So today I thought I would cover a little bit about dreams related to vlogging, like what my vlogging goals, I guess. These are my vlogging goals. Having recently talked about why I vlog daily, it seems to make sense within that context. I know a lot of you are here for just family stuff, but in this one I'm just going to share a little bit of my hopes and dreams and feelings. So I've been making websites since 2003, I believe. I'd have to look. And it started with trying to become a professional magician. I learned to make my own website. I started a blog before blogging was super fashionable. And I think it was just one of those things where I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. It was relatively new, and I wish I had stuck with it. I did blog for a while, but then I stopped. I guess maybe I never really stopped blogging. I just changed websites. So I did one that was about performing. And so as soon as I graduated from college, I became a full-time magician I had a contract. I had scored a contract with Six Flags theme park. And so they were like, hey, here's 30 grand, or somewhere between 20 and 30 grand. So it's probably like a 6 months contract, but it was, for the first 2 months, it was just 2 days a week. And then after that, it was 5 days a week during the summer months, June, July, August. And then even in the peak season, it would be 7 days a week. 2008 happened, and Six Flags was going bankrupt, or some kind of weird, like a type of bankruptcy. So all contractors were cut. So performers, especially in entertainment. So it was all in-house entertainment, which were just high school kids who were working for good money for them, like $10 an hour or something like that. So at one point they're like, hey, you should come back. We're going to pay you $10 an hour, and $10 an hour is nothing to sneeze at, even at like at that age. And even as an adult in Wisconsin, I mean, a job's a job. And I know a lot of adults who, you have to work with what you can. And I know talking about money is always kind of weird, so I apologize for doing that. But, that's the situation. And so the irony is after that, I ended up taking a job in my undergrad field, which was psychology. I worked in a mental health facility. And for about 3-4 years, I worked there while doing magic shows on the side. So after leaving that, I decided I wanted to. I just took a job in mental health because it made sense. I had the degree, even though most people I work with didn't have degrees. The irony being that I was working for probably about $10 an hour at the place that I worked. And in college too, because of getting my undergrad degree, I worked with kids with disabilities, so like obsessive compulsive disorder. I worked worked with kids with autism. I worked with kids with post-traumatic stress who survived, horrible things. So for I believe it was like 3 to 5 years, somewhere in there. I worked in the field, and during that time, I decided, you know what? I did the magic thing. I really want to make films or work in mass media. I wanted to get into film. I went to film school for a semester. They were still doing like physical film, and I had no interest in that. I just wanted to go digital. It didn't make any sense. So I actually dropped out halfway semester because I was paying money for, it was like $25 for 2 minutes for basically a 100-foot roll, $25. And then that 100-foot roll would only be like 2 minutes. And so it was one of those things where it's like, I have to pay, if I want to do, a 30-second movie, I'm probably going to need $25 because, you're going to have parts that you cut out. So it's just crazy expensive. It adds up really fast. So I thought, you know what? I had actually taught myself animation in undergrad school just because I was interested, and I always was interested. I did actually a lot of filming when I was in high school. We had like this crazy old VHS tape one, and it was even old then. Like my parents bought it, 3 years after they bought it, they finally were like, okay, we never use it, you use it, just use it as much as you want. So actually it probably was even middle school that I started filming, because there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't want you guys to see, kids doing really dumb things. I know so for example, this guy hired us to egg a business that they had hired him and then never paid. So he's like, I'll pay you $20 if you go egg this business. And so I'm not proud of that, but kind of funny. It's middle school things. I was like 13, So filmmaking was a dud. And I did that while working at the hospital, at the, mental health facility. And that was rough because I would work a third shift. I would get off, I would drive to the University of Milwaukee, which is one of the few places that has like a film studies program. I would go to class, and it was like 2-hour parking everywhere. There, it was like crazy amount to park. So I'd park in the 2-hour parking, go to my 2-hour class, get done, move my car, sleep in my car, wake up an hour later, go to my next class, go back, move my car again, park that car, or what do you call it? Move the car, sleep, and then go back to class, get done, and then drive home, sleep for like 3-4 hours, and then go back to work. So it's this like fractured insanity, and it was fun, but again, I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. So then I decided, well, you know what? If I learn the business side. I was actually still making websites at the time, so I was learning about how people made money with video and with blogs and stuff like that. And so I've been sort of a student of that for, I don't know, a little over a decade. And so while still working at the hospital, I went to get my MBA. So instead of going to film school, I got my MBA. And after graduating from my MBA, I was giving a promotion, and then I started as a manager at the mental health facility. So I was in charge of running the whole facility, basically. So during my shift, not constantly. So it wasn't like one of those jobs. It was an administrative job, but it was like a lower administrative job. And so for example, I didn't do the scheduling for the nurses, but if a nurse is called in, it was my job to find a replacement. If actually we had, because it was also a hospital, we had a couple of people who passed away, and so it was my job to let the undertaker in, or whatever they're called. I can't remember, but they come in and then check everything, and then they put them in a body bag, and I'd help them wheel them out, stuff like that. So fire alarm, like anything really related to the building. So then that position pretty quickly. I think within a year. I probably didn't even have it a year. They brought in a new management, and it was for profit. So they're basically, the new guy was like, I'm gonna try to cut as much as I can. And so he cut that position. So there's probably there's 3 shifts. So 3, and then there'd be like 3 different people probably who took that position. And I was a little bit of a float, so I moved around. So there's probably like 9 of us, and we all they were pretty smart on keeping people from being able to get unemployment. They were kind of that type of company that it's more important for them to make a buck than to help out their employees. And they've actually just recently, part of it was shut down because they were not, it's all about the dollar. It burnt me out. And so I was unemployed for like a little bit, and quickly I got a gig working for, I had my master's degree, and so I got a gig working for the University of Wisconsin Extension. So I worked for the university as youth development, and so basically running, if you're familiar with 4-H program, help running the local 4-H program in that county, putting on events for kids. And that whole time, as I said, again, I was doing websites and wasn't really making any money. I did a little bit of freelance work in that time period, and I don't remember the exact. I kept trying to experiment with different business models. So I did actually screen printing for about a year, and that I could make money on, but I hated it. I continued to do magic shows and make money on, but I just can't in my location if I moved, or if I was willing to constantly be on the road, which I'm not against now, but I also had stress, being on the road and being stressed, it just drove me nuts. What else did I do? I did actually a freelance website, so I did that for a little bit, and it was easy, but working with clients was always a pain because they always wanted changes. So I just did that for about 6 months. So now, working for the University of Wisconsin, governor decided that he needs to cut expenditures. He made all these promises about creating jobs, and he's not really doing that. So I think he just figured he'd go another route, and so he's gutting our university system. And they basically said, hey, you have 6 months. No, you have a couple months. Or I actually worked out a deal where I worked part-time with them, and they let me work for 6 months so I could kind of get my magic shows and whatever survival clients I could get together. And that first year was actually pretty good. And then that was 2 years ago, and so now, I have several websites that make a couple bucks a month. And so I'm doing client work. So I'm doing magic shows, as I said. I do balloon twisting, so that's a good add-on because it's not competing, because people get both, or they're very rarely looking for. They're separate. They're not a show. So I do those, and I also do. Actually, sometimes I'm getting contracted right now with the university because they get a grant, so they're bringing me on to run a science event, several science events. So I think we're running like 8, so I'll be with them for like 6 months. I have to go into the office once in a while, so I do those things, and we survive. We're probably making, with house payment is what kills us, because I need to refinance our loan, because we just took our house is an inexpensive house, comparatively. But we bought it because it needed a lot of upkeep, or a lot of improvements, and so it's like, oh yeah, shouldn't have been a problem, but because of the current situation, we almost have the house paid off. But the problem is it needs a lot of work. I realized I never got to like my dream of what I want to do, and so with vlogging, and this is way too long as it is. A little career confessional, as you will. So let's, I'll do that one tomorrow. Come visit us tomorrow. Apologize for the length of this one. Have a great rest of your weekend.